All right, everybody, we're going to get started here. Thanks for coming to this session here for Active Classroom. Everybody here is familiar with Active Classroom, so you know your own login, you know password, a little bit of experience. Today we're going to be going over adding your own content and building quizzes. One of the most powerful tools in Active Classroom is this ability here. You know, our main goal at the end of the day through Active Classroom, through everything we do at Social Day School Service and Measurement Education, is to help you connect the content with your students, whether this be our prefabricated inquiry-based lessons, the collaboration tools that we provide in Active Classroom, or even here being able to add your own activities and build your own quizzes and assessments. You know, I know a lot of teachers who utilize Active Classroom have been part of Teaching American History grants or, you know, have been doing professional development along the way for many, many years. And with lots of your own great resources that work very well in the classroom, and you should be able to incorporate not only those lessons but those strategies within Active Classroom. You know, I know a lot of teachers even look at our lessons, for instance, like decision making in U.S. history, or something I saw recently, zombie-based geography, where they'll take our content, the specific pedagogy or strategy, and apply it to their own standards, to their own state, to their own scenarios, so you can build it that way. I have right here up front the help page as just a reminder. You know, what you're going to see me do today is going to look very familiar to the videos of um, building quizzes and adding your own content below here. But this is just a great tool to always refer to. You know, all of you know you can always contact Social Studies School Service along the way. Okay, so to begin showing Active Classroom first and how to add activities, first I like to show our activities. So I'm going to go to Content, Find Activities. I was just building a set before. You know, one of my favorite go-to lessons is History Unfolding, and the reason why I'm showing you this is kind of to show what your lesson should look like or was going to look like, and how lessons look in our active reader. So right now, as you can see, I'm in the History Unfolding. On the left side here, we have our table of contents, and on the right side, we actually have the content information. As you all should know too as well, on the right side, for students, they have an option to make annotations. So just an example as I go through, you know, here are the pages of Active Classroom, what looks inside the reader, and this is what your lessons will look like as well. I'm going to show you how to add resources to use the image examiner functionality too. Just a quick example there. So first we're going to go over adding lessons and adding content into Active Classroom. There's a couple different ways to get to this page. You can simply click on Content, go to Add Activities, and you can find yourself at the page. Or perhaps you're looking for lessons, you're building an activity set. When you click on My Lessons, you'll see the ability to get to the same page by clicking on New Lesson. And overall, at the end of the day, you know, the main idea is to build what we like to call these activity sets. It's this idea of utilizing our lessons, perhaps bringing in your own lessons, bringing in your own quizzes, and then dragging them over to assign to your students in this differentiated set, again, to help them connect to the content in the best way possible. So I'm going to go to Content, Add Activities. So here at this page is where you're going to define the type of activity set or activities that you will be creating. I'm going to quickly jump back, show you why we have all those resources. So you'll be able to choose the subject, so you'll be able to find subjects. So if I label economics, when I choose economics and I click my lessons, it'll populate there. You can also associate it to the era or theme. You can associate a keyword with it. You know, every time you see these assigned keywords, and this is kind of overall in Active Classroom, you know, that I want to bring up. It's very important to assign keywords because we have lots and lots of lessons in Active Classroom. I'm sure after this presentation you're going to be adding your own lessons, your own quizzes. Utilizing the keyword function is very, very important because it ties into this keyword function here in the main finder here in Active Classroom, and you'll always be able to find your lessons right away. You'll be also to label your own activity type and the duration of time. So I just kind of want to give you a reason why we give you that ability in Active Classroom and building your own lessons. So today I chose a theme of the American Revolution. So I'm going to give this a title, which is the American Revolution. I'm going to put American Rev as my main keyword. So all of these different lessons and different quizzes that I built for myself, or even different activity sets in Active Classroom, during the American Revolution, I'm always going to put the keyword American Rev as a reference to myself. I want to find all the lessons that I really like, or the activity sets that I really like, or the quizzes that I've uploaded, or the lessons that I've uploaded for the American Revolution, and I'll always find them by going into Find Activities into the keywords. I'm going to make this say a study skills analysis. Say about 120 minutes. This is the American Revolution. So I'll put U.S. history. An era theme, pretty straightforward. American Revolution. So now I've labeled all of these assets here to when I am in the, when I'm finding activities, I can look for this lesson that I'm making right now based on the duration, based on the activity type, based on my keyword, era, theme, so on and so forth. So here you're really free to organize your lessons in any way possible. I showed an example of history unfolding, how there, they'll show some instructions about the lesson, how to use the lesson, and then it dives into the content. I kind of like to do it in a similar way. Of course, you can do this in any way you'd like. So I'm going to give the lesson a title. -1. I'm going to add some instructions for the student. I actually want to leave this table of contents. So here I'm just giving, they'll be the first page that they'll see in this lesson is some instructions. That there's going to be a PowerPoint introduction, a 3-minute video, a visual analysis, a primary source reading, and a general lesson that it should take about 120 minutes. So this is the very first thing that the student will see. So I'm going to save this. So if you look to your right, now it says table of contents. When I showed you that history unfolding lessons, you saw on the left-hand bar there was all these different highlighted orange links that brought you to different pages. This is what this is exactly right there. So now when I go back into this lesson, or when a student goes into this lesson after I assign it to them, they'll be able to go in, click table of contents, and see this information. So now I'm going to click New, add my first activity, which I mentioned is a PowerPoint. So I'm calling it Backward Planning PowerPoint Edited. If you notice in Active Classroom, we have these brilliant, wonderful backwards planning PowerPoints with essential questions, with these big themes and ideas for students to think about while they're looking over the content. There's discussion questions along the way, also with a traditional or multiple choice assessment to assess the student's knowledge, and an authentic assessment as well. One of the things you also notice about these PowerPoints is there's about 80, sometimes 90 slides of great information, which some of you know in Active Classroom, which is a very positive aspect, is that you can edit these PowerPoints. You can download them, you can change the information, change the images, change the essential questions, whatever you like to do. What I did was I downloaded a PowerPoint, took the first 15 slides, and put it in Active Classroom. So when I make these pages, I also like first adding instructions as well. So here I'm going to add some instructions before I put a link to the PowerPoint stating please review the PowerPoint, come up with 3 main ideas to present to your groups. Now what I'm going to do is bring in the PowerPoint to Active Classroom. Now there's a couple things you can do. I can go in, find the PowerPoint, and then there'll be a link, an orange link specifically there of the name of my PowerPoint. But instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give further instructions to the students and put in download PowerPoint. So I'm going to link these words here for the student. So to retrieve this PowerPoint, I'm going to go to the folder where it says Open File Manager. Now, here's the PowerPoint. I already have it here hosted in Active Classroom. In order to add PowerPoints, images, content into Active Classroom, you have to bring it into the home of Active Classroom. Now, when I say that, these are specific files that I brought in specifically for this presentation to add to content. See where my mouse is on this file button? It says Upload Files. Now, this should look familiar. Here is my desktop. Here is where I would retrieve files, PowerPoints, maybe a Google image, whatever it may be. I would choose it from here, then bring it into my home. So I'm going to choose this PowerPoint. And now you can see this was highlighted. When a student sees this, you'll be able to click Download PowerPoint. Just for the sake of showing you, I'm going to show what it looks like without highlighting. So you see here, this is the name of my file, PPT, _ the American Revolution edited key. That's it. This doesn't look as nice or fancy, but you don't have to highlight some words in order for the students to see it. I think it's a good idea, so that's what I did for my students. I'm going to get rid of this. Going to save. And now you see to the right here, now I have my other tab for the students. I'm going to click New. So I mentioned in my instructions, the next would be a short YouTube video. Of course, there's many, 8, 9, I think even up to 1,000 videos in Active Classroom. I might get a quick text from Aaron saying we have way less or way more than that, but I think that's about around the number that we have of wonderful resources to use in Active Classroom, wonderful videos, all different types of great videos to use, whether it be Material World or in telecom videos, Ambrose videos, newscasts from the past. But there are probably lots of resources that you like to use on your own in Active Classroom. Aaron assured me 1,000 is about the right number. Choose an Active Classroom. These crash courses are very, very good to use on YouTube. You may have your own YouTube channel. I know how inventive teachers are today, where they have their own YouTube channels that they assign to students, where students are uploading their own videos, or you're uploading videos for your students, whatever it may be. The point is, you can embed YouTube and Vimeo videos in Active Classroom. I really enjoyed this one crash course video for the American Revolution. But the first thing I'm going to do, like I like to do with all my tabs here, is add instructions. So the instructions here are watch the video and find one main idea, 3 supporting evidence. Now I could upload the video here and add the questions, or later I could say refer to the quiz, and then when I build this quiz saying, oh, when you watch that crash course videos, please give me those 3 main ideas, 1 supporting evidence. But you can still write in the text here. But I'm going to go in, click my YouTube application here. It should look pretty familiar to everybody. I'm just going to grab my YouTube link. So now I have my YouTube video embedded in Active Classroom. I want to let you know that this still goes out to YouTube. I know there's certain people here in the presentation where YouTube is blocked from the school server, and we're working on that. So if YouTube is blocked from your school server, putting it in Active Classroom doesn't help you step over that roadblock or anything. But this is just a great way to shortline a YouTube video to your students. Below I could add some questions here. Please report 3 main ideas, whatever it may be. But I like the way it is, so I'm going to click save, and again, you'll see to the right my next tab. According to my instructions, I also said there's going to be visual analysis. So one of the most powerful tools in Active Classroom is the Image Examiner. I'm really excited to show you guys this. I think this is such a really cool idea that you can do. I'm going to go a little off script of content, and I'm going to upload a picture that I took myself. You can upload Google Images, you can upload your own pictures, whatever pictures you'd like, you can bring in and utilize our Image Examiner. If you recall earlier in the presentation, I went in and showed the Image Examiner just for a moment. But also, you can just upload your own image as well. Where my key is, it says Image. Here, where you see the multiple pictures, is where you're actually inserting the Image Examiner technology into the image. So as I mentioned before, I like to add some instructions. So here are my instructions. Use the Image Examiner tools to dig into the visual. I'm going to click on my multi-picture icon here. I'm going to go to the file, click on the file, and as I mentioned before, I already uploaded these pictures from my desktop, but I'm just going to, just for the sake of learning here, I'm just going to show you again. I clicked on the disk. Here's my desktop. I can go to Documents, Downloads. I can go to these various files here, and then I can add these pictures, add these PowerPoints, whatever it is, to my Active Classroom home. So this is an image that I'm putting in here. Let's see if I can show it to you real quick. You can preview the image as well. That is a picture of a machete. This is my neighbor's machete. I don't actually own a machete, but here we're going with the American Revolution and tools of war. I just think it's really interesting. I know a lot of teachers have gone to Colonial Williamsburg, or there's lots of local history within the community that you may be going over, and I think it's really neat to be able to take your own pictures or have your students take their own pictures, and then you can upload it into Active Classroom. You can actually use these image examining tools to dig deeper into these resources. So here's a little preview of the machete. I don't think they used this during the American Revolution. As I said, we're going a little off topic here. Possibly in the Vietnam War in a jungle. Click OK. So one thing I want to show that this is what it's always going to look like. It's going to look like an exact replica of this icon here, but we're going to go in and I'm going to show you that that the Image Examiner of how you use it with the image. But that's what the image is going to look like. I'm going to click Save. Again, to my right, all in order. We have our different tabs. Students will be able to go into the different lesson. And last but not least, I put a primary source reading. Now, in Active Classroom, we have all of these, of course, wonderful, wonderful lessons that attach primary source readings into the lessons, attached with scaffolding questions and great pedagogy. I'd say maybe 80% of the lessons in Active Classroom some sort of way have some sort of primary source reading attached to it, probably even more. You may be saying, listen, I just want the Declaration of Independence, or I just want an excerpt of the Declaration of Independence, not with the five historical thinking habits and the Historian's Apprentice, but in this, I just want my students to find say the economic, political, and social aspect, the ESP of this primary source reading. So what I did was I actually Googled, I copied and pasted, I went to the Declaration of Independence. I found the Declaration of Independence online just through Google, and I copied and pasted the excerpt that I want my students to highlight the economic, political, and social aspects of the specific excerpt of the Declaration of Independence. Going to save. Now always remember this. So if you're familiar with Active Classroom, you always see that green highlighting bar, success, great job. There's tons of positive reinforcement in Active Classroom. What I'm going to do now is click Done. Remember to always click Done when you're finished with the page. I usually click done right away. You can keep clicking done. But now that I click done, you see at the top, well done. Again, all of this great positive reinforcement. My lesson has been saved. So now I'm going to go to Find Activities. I'm going to reset here. Go to My Lessons. I'm going to do that one more time. So I went to Content, Find Activities, Lessons, My Lessons, and here it is, the American Revolution. I said it was study skills, 120 minutes is the duration. I'm going to click US, American Revolution, search, wonderful. And you see it's still there. So these two lessons that I created involve the American Revolution. You saw me tie it to these, and now it's there. I'm going to do one more here. American Rev. So here it is again. That's why I think it's very important to keep these keywords so you can always find your lesson. So I'm going to view it. So here's the table of contents. Here's my backwards planning PowerPoint. Click on the link to download. Here's my crash course video. Just in case it shows some advertisement. I'm just actually went right to the video. Okay. Visual analysis, here's the really exciting stuff. So, here's the picture of Machete that you can go in, and I'm using the image examiner here. I can break it up into quadrants, which makes it we really want to look at the handle at this period of time. And again, blow it up on the screen. Here's my primary source reading. I'm going to show you in a moment. I asked my students to find the economic, political, social aspects of the Declaration of Independence within this primary source reading. So, I don't know about you guys, but I think it looks good. So I'm going to say choose this, drag it over into Active Classroom. Close American Revolution. I'll just say me because I made it. American Rev. Like I said, I'm always going to remember to use American Rev to find my resources. I'm going to save it, sign it, and I'm just doing this so you guys can see what it looks like from a student's point of view. I'm going to send it, give it to Eli Cohen. And please complete all activities by Friday. So I mentioned the economic. Time's sake, I'm just going to add economic. I'm going to take rid of these. I'm going to do one more, political. That highlight looks done. Going to unlock it today. Let's make it due on the 23rd. I'm going to save the assignment. Okay, now I'm going to go in as that student. So, and for those of you who may have not jumped into the student version, this is also just kind of a great way to see what the student version looks like, just really quick. You can see the difference here. The top bar is gray, where in the teacher version it is orange. You see they have less options. We make it very readily for students to see the assignments assigned to them in Active Classroom. Here, Eli Cohen, you can see he had some practice assignments sent to him earlier today. Recent activities, American Revolution ME, to-do list, finish assignment on 9/23, American Revolution ME, on their calendar. There it is, American Revolution ME, or of course, you can always go to their assignments and grades, go to assignments, and they'll find it there as well. There's no excuse for a student to not see their lessons. I'm going to launch it. So here's the annotation. Please complete all activities by Friday. Here. You can always have your students upload their own PowerPoints, upload their own Microsoft Word documents, whatever it may be. But just for the sake of this presentation, I'm going to stick to showing you what I made here. So this is what the student sees. You have your annotations to the right. As a student, I can still download the PowerPoint. I can see the crash course video. I can use the visual analysis tools as a student. In the primary source reading, I said, please highlight. I'm going to say this is a social aspect. Go over to my highlighting tool. Well, I did economic. I'll say it's political. This is political because it changes. There it is. So that's kind of a full circle of how to add your own activities. I'm going to go back into the teacher version. Now I am going to go into how to build your own quizzes. Pretty similar, just as Active Classroom. Now what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to show you, like I did with adding your own content, first I'm going to show you what a scaffolding question or quiz may look like in Active Classroom. I'm going to go backwards point to PowerPoint, sort of just do different ones in there. Quick view. So here's what the assessment looks like. You can have multiple choice assessment. You can have essay, open-ended. Let me show you what a kind of open-ended looks like. See here below here, you have these text boxes. Now the text box is a little different. There's actually a lot more you can do, to tell you the truth, when you upload or create or build your own quiz. There's many more functions for the students to be able to do in Active Classroom. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the two different ways to access your quizzes. So you can go to Content, go to Quizzes. Here you are. Here's quizzes I've already created. You'll be creating lots of your own quizzes, so you can search for them that way, or just like finding or adding your own lessons or activities. You're looking at lessons, you're looking at my lessons, and you go, you know what, I want to build my own quiz, so you can do it from here as well. So here is the quiz settings. This is what it brings to you right away. Here you can name your quiz, the type of quiz, adding your keyword, how long it's going to take, instructions for the students. So I'm going to go through an example here. I'm going to name this quiz American to British. I'm going to keep to this American Rev, everything involving American Rev. I'm always going to remember that. It should take, say, 45 minutes to do. Some instructions for the students here, just letting them know this quiz will test your knowledge about the American Revolution and major events that took place. So you have the option to shuffle questions. You could put a time limit as well. Say if you wanted to assign this during a class period, it's a 44-minute class. Have them finish within 44 minutes. You can have it show responses to the students. You can restrict the quiz. You can put in a code. Say you're building these quizzes and you can assign them to students and you forgot the unlock date. It's probably a good idea to put in this alphanumeric code. And you can do show a single question at a time. I actually like doing that, showing a single question at a time, or having all the questions there for them. Now I'm going to build my questions. So here, I'm going to click Add New Question. I know this comes up all the time. This also says a pick from question bank. As of right now, when you build a quiz, all of the questions that you create, you can always refer back to your other quizzes and actually borrow from those other quizzes. Right now, this is just for your personal quizzes that you create. We've had lots of requests for instance, say Lafayette, Louisiana. Lots of their teachers are building quizzes, and they want to be able to borrow each other's questions to go ahead and have this kind of overall quiz bank. But for right now, this will just be your quiz bank. So I'm going to add a question here. My question name, I'm just going to say, we'll make it really easy. We'll say name the color. Do a multiple choice, single answer. I can go ahead and give it a point value. My question will be, let's say, what color were the coats of the British when they wore them? Let's say blue, green, red, and purple. I'm going to choose red as the correct answer. You can provide feedback for the students, so when they click red, you can say, and they were called lobsterbacks, or whatever you like to do. We provide 4 answers. You can add a new answer. Again, you can make these, I made this a single multiple choice. You can make this multiple answers for multiple choice. You have to choose A and C to get the correct answer. I'm going to save the question. That's a positive reinforcement there. I'm going to add another question. Add another question here. We'll call this one, we'll do a true-false one. Just going to name it simply true-false. Not too much time left, so I may just borrow another question from another quiz that I've made here. And my true-false question is, were the British from England? The answer is true. I want to provide some feedback to the student when they choose true. Also referred to as Great Britain, England, United Kingdom. This would probably be a lower level question for maybe 5th or 4th grade students. That could be confusing with all these different names for the Great Empire. Save question. For time's sake, I'm going to borrow a question. I'm going to show you an example of that. So I'm going to pick from a question bank. Here are 3 other quizzes that I've already built. Here's one that sounds a lot similar, British, or the Revolution for America, question mark. I already named the color, geography. Already did those ones. Okay, here's my essay. Here's an essay example that I really like here in a few paragraphs. Please discuss the importance of the American Revolution. Add selected question. And there it is. So I showed you how to create a multiple choice, how to do true and false. It's pretty straightforward. I showed you how to pick a question from the question bank. I'm going to save this quiz. This is successfully saved. I'm actually going to go back into quiz settings and click Save Quiz again. Can't hurt. So I'm going to go back now. Define activities. Go to my quizzes. I really like this American Revolution one that I just made, so I want them to look at that first. Now I want them to go to the American Revolution. I'll just show you how it looks like on the teacher's side. Now it's important to know that students are the ones that see the questions. I did one at a time, so you can only see the one question right now. I'm going to call this American Revo test. Keyword, American Rev. It's a common theme. Click Save. Going to assign to Eli. He's a good student. Please finish for class tomorrow. going to unlock it today. I said it's due tomorrow. Save the assignment. Just going to mention some things along the way. The external link here, as I mentioned before, when a student logs in, it's, I'd say, impossible for them to not find lessons or quizzes that are assigned to them. Here's another way they can access the lessons, though, with this external link, whether it be an activity set, one lesson, or an assignment. You send your students this link, they can log in, and they'll access the lesson right away. So here it is. You saw the one from before. Again, here's my test that's due tomorrow. It's on my calendar here. American Revo test. I did it as a activity set. We already looked at the lesson, so now we're going to open the quiz. So I did one question at a time. I'm going to say red. Next question. We're the British from England. I'm going to say true. So here is the text box that the students get for the essay question. I think this is really powerful. I think this is really great. Here they can bring in their own images. They can bring in videos. They can really format the text. I think this is really important because students today are very, they spend most of their writing with their thumbs on their phone and social media and little weird text boxes that may or may not even have spell check. I remember going to school, and one of the big things was always doing these assignments in Microsoft Word, learning formatting, sentence structure, double spacing, putting in headers, formatting, things like that. So I think it's great that we put this this text box here when you build your own lessons. So you can have students format text and do that. So they're not losing that ability on how to use these types of programs when writing. Now I'm going to go back into Ask the Teacher. And everybody, that's kind of a overview of how to use Active Classroom to add lessons and to build quizzes. Okay, great. Well, so just to let everybody know, my email is mlevine@socialstudies.com, like my name, M as in Max, Levine @socialstudies.com. If you have any questions about building your quizzes or adding content, feel free to shoot me an email. I'd be more than happy to go over this again. And as always, you can always go to our help videos.